Is that Scoots? Scott, what are you doing?
What's up, Paula? What are you up to, brother?
What are you doing here?
Just doing a little fishing, man. What are you up to?
Looking for you, actually.
Wait, am I supposed to be at the stadium or something?
No, this will work. This will be fine.
Okay. Whew. Just trying to get some time in, you know, on the rod, you know.
Yeah. Hi guys, and welcome to Gone Fishing with Scoot. Scott, how's it going, buddy?
Not sure there's any fish in here though, Paula.
Good, I'm happy I've run into you here at the lake, the local lake near our hotel. How did you find this place?
I just asked the hotel front desk, you know, if there was a place to do some fishing. I saw the lake. They said there's plenty of fish in here, although I don't see any fish.
Oh, well, you definitely know how... Oh,
we're already jammed up, Paula.
I was about to say you're definitely someone that knows how to handle a rod.
Well, it's a rental rod.
Oh,
you know,
I see.
My own rod at home, I've got that pretty dialed. But this one, I don't know, There you go, buddy.
Nice, okay.
I practice on my own rod, you know?
Yeah, of course. Scott, I thought we could have a little chat and kind of get to know you a bit better, because you are a person in the scene with a storied history, and so I'd love to have a little talk about you, if that's okay.
Let me put this strap down for a second.
Yeah, sure. It's all tangled up.
Yeah.
I'm not used to handling other people's rods, so maybe you put
I wouldn't really want you to touch my rods.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, do you want to take a seat, or...
Sure, you want me to sit down?
I'm not really sure how we're going to do this. Maybe I can just perch on the hill. All right, so, Scott, you've been around in the scene for a very long time. You're one of the OGs, so to speak. Where did it all begin for you?
I mean, in regards to eSports, for me, it started in 1999 when the mod Counter-Strike dropped, you know. I was playing it, and I bumped into a bunch of young kids that were in like an Action Quake clan, you know, and they said, hey, this is really cool, you want to be in a clan with us? And of course, being an older guy, I was like, clan? I don't know what that is. Like Ku Klux Klan, like, what is this? And they're like, no, it's like, you know, if you were to like be on a bowling team and every Tuesday you go play with your buddies, the same kind of thing. We'll be matching and we'll have competitions and rules. And I was like, that sounds really cool. So I was on this team called UGP for a couple years, and we'd save our money and go to CPLs and get our ass kicked by all the Euros. You know, we were definitely like that kind of Tuesday softball team. We were never going to be a pro level.
And well, just quickly to bust in, I think that is something that a lot of people don't know about you, that you did like compete like back in the day.
Yeah, not very good. I think on the eSports earning list, I'm the second oldest money winner with $200 at a CPL. Our team got like 24th to 32nd place at one CPL, and at that point there was $1,200 for the team. So I am a ex-professional in the sense that I made money playing Counter-Strike.
Hey, you're a money winner. Not many people can say that, Scott.
Yeah, so I quickly replaced myself on the roster, you know, to be more competitive. You know, we played in all the North American online leagues and stuff, and it just made sense that, you know, that was not going to be my calling. I was okay, but I was not good at all. And yeah, from there, you know, I've been a video gamer all my life. I mean, all the way back to the Ataris and handheld Mattel football games when I was in high school and stuff. So always been a gamer, but the eSports stuff, Counter-Strike grabbed me and literally never let me go. From CPL and playing for UGP and running UGP, that led me to all the guys that had started Got Frag. And so they asked me to come join that company. So I joined Got Frag as one of the owners, fired up Got Frag TV, started doing all the early broadcasting stuff. That led me to, we were bought by MLG, that then ended. A couple years later, my buddy Alex Garfield from EG reaches out to me.
The EG story.
Yeah, and I joined Alex as one of the owners of Evil Geniuses, which we then quickly grew to Evil Geniuses, Alliance, Good Game Agency. I then, it was an interesting time in eSports where I was very vocal, and I wanted to be very vocal. There were a lot of negative things happening in the space, a lot of scams, a lot of bad businessmen, and it got to the point where my work at Evil Geniuses was making me kind of lose my own personal voice, and I felt like I couldn't be that outspoken guy anymore because, you know, I wasn't a player for EG, but obviously I still represent those same sponsors, those same brands, and I had a big dilemma in my mind, like, do I stay this outspoken guy that I've always been on forums and everywhere, or do I suck it up and like stay kind of this corporate thing because we were getting bigger and bigger, and I chose my voice, you know, so I left EG and became independent again so I could yell and scream if I needed to at people, and been there ever since, basically. And of course, thankfully, a couple years ago, my shares got bought out by Twitch when they bought the Good Game Agency, so kind of set me up for the rest of my life. So I could be here fishing, right? So I could be here fishing. And that's kind of it, but been here, you know, 99 and never left, you know?
Yeah, and how do you feel the scene has... I'm really worried I'm going to get covered in bugs, Scoot. I'm nervous, I'm scared. Have I got anything on my back at the moment? And has anything crawled up where...
No, now you're good, now you're good, now you're good. Okay. You guys saw that, right? You also, okay, sure, yeah, all right.
Let's do it. All right, so the scene now compared to where it used to be, how would you compare them?
Wow, in some regards, night and day. I mean, you know, back in the day, everybody was volunteering one way or another. Whether you're a team owner and you were volunteering your time and effort, you're a player working for mouse pads and travel, or tournament organizers, you know, trying to figure out how do you throw an event and monetize it. And now, obviously, with streaming and the numbers and the viewership, you know, everyone is starting to get paid. Now, maybe not everyone is profiting yet, but now there's actual, like I would say, real money in the scene, and that. Last couple of years, we've seen even more big investment come in. And again, they're all investing for the payday. The payday is not here yet.
And what do you think about CSGO specifically? Are there any teams or players that are your favourites? Because I know that you have some friendships with some of the players that have been around for the longer periods.
Definitely. I mean, the first guy that jumps out to me would be a guy like Jordan, you know, because he played for me at Evil Geniuses and traveled the world with him for a couple years, and just love that kid, you know. And obviously, he's had his slumps up and down 1.6 days as well as CSGO, and it's kind of really cool, like these last months, to see him and his team doing really well. You know, they played well yesterday. They played well in Cologne, and it's just nice to see him back in kind of his rare old form in that sense, right? I've missed that Jordan, and again, I've known a lot of these guys. A lot of the European guys were 1.6 guys too. I had different jobs back then, so I wasn't necessarily the same kind of commentator kind of guy, but it's just awesome to see the guys like Olaf and all those characters, right? Wasn't a big Source guy, so those guys that came from Source wasn't too familiar with, you know, the MBKs, etc., but have become friends with them since, right? So I mean, I'm just... If you flash forward to, or you go backwards to before Go gets released, we all thought our game was dead. You know, 1.6 was still happening, but it was kind of on the downside, and I kind of thought that my favorite esport was gone. Yeah. You know, and it was gone in North America in the sense of like higher competition. And so Go comes out, and again, when Go first dropped, we were all like, oh my God, what did they do? What is this abomination?
It was a very, very different game to anybody that didn't get to play it in 2012 or early 2013.
And most of us were like, oh, this is like Source. What is this, right? And their idea was to merge both, right? And since then, though, patch after patch after patch, and we can still complain about different guns and all those kind of things, but it's come a long way, and it's obviously taken its place again as, you know, one of the top esports, certainly the top shooter.
Now, Scott, you mentioned that when 1.6 started to decline numbers-wise, everyone was a bit worried. And so then when CSGO came out and you saw the development of it, when did you start feeling hopeful again that this might actually lead somewhere good?
I think, believe it or not, it was actually after watching like Nip TV and Anders and those guys start doing their thing, I was like, okay, we're finding that rhythm again of casters and people like showing the game. It's one thing if the game is broken or not broken, but you still have to have people that are willing to be the commentators and then tournament organizers. So as soon as I saw organized starting to grab it, I saw guys like Anders and obviously then Semler like kind of honing their craft in the game. I was like, all right, we're on our way back, you know. Valve, don't mess this up. Keep patching it towards what we want. You know, they have a tough job. They have to patch for the regular folks and they have to patch for the pros. And somewhere along the way, there's a balance, right? And it's never going to be everything the pros want. It's never going to be everything the casual player wants. And that's Valve's job, or any developer, to find that middle ground of their esport. So I guess maybe about a year in, I was like, okay, I think we got something here, right? You know, people started watching again. Numbers were good. It was cool. And it's obviously awesome now.
Yeah.
Awesome now.
Talking about exactly where we are at now, what do you think of Kraków and what PGL are doing here?
I mean, awesome. I mean, we're not in the big part of the stadium yet. They're setting that up, right? But I can't wait, you know. I hear ticket sales have been great. And obviously, we've seen many events, Cologne, all these different events are slowly, you know, they're filling out their stadiums. You know, Cologne is like this bastion of an event every year, too. And we just had that. It was an amazing thing. So it's one thing that people are watching at home and, you know, we've got good entertainment in regards to casters. But when you start seeing 8, 10, 15,000 people fill a stadium and buy tickets and travel to an event, that's kind of that next step of, okay, people are willing to spend their money, take their vacation time to make this part of their life, right? It's easy to watch at home. It's a totally different thing to come somewhere, right? And people are traveling. Like everyone that's here won't just be Polish. They're not all just driving here, right? So I think that it's just awesome, you know, and it's just one of many awesome esports. Let's not kid ourselves, you know, but that's obviously my favorite one.
Yeah, no doubt. So then where we are now and the future, you are feeling positive?
Yeah, I think we've got a kind of a next couple stage of growing pains. I think for tournament organizers especially, obviously they have this bar they keep setting against each other, and that gets really expensive. So somewhere along the way, you know, they have to figure out where their profit margins lay. If they're, you know, if they keep losing money throwing big events, they can't do that it's not very sustainable. So everyone's got to find where the sustainable market is, whether it's player salaries, whether it's tournament organizers, prize purse, all those different things. And I think we're seeing a little inflation of that stuff. I won't call it a bubble or anything crazy, but I think that has to level out a little bit, you know. But that's kind of the natural selection of it, right? You figure out what's overpaid, what's underpaid, and you find that medium ground. We've got tons of new investment coming in. You know, sports guys are looking at the brands that not only have Counter-Strike but other stuff. So it's just really, really cool.
Scott, it's been a pleasure to get your thoughts on everything. You are definitely an OG in the game, and I think we should finish this video off with you teaching me a bit of fishing.
Okay, we'll try.
Give me a little demo.
Okay, we'll try.
Well, okay, and then I'll give it a go myself. All right.
Let's. So yeah, I think things are really good, Paula. You know, and as with growth, like, you know, as you know, I'm helping the players kind of get themselves organized in an association. And again, you know, for 10, 15 years, everyone has said, hey, esports is just like sports. You know, you can talk about the athleticism being different, but the business of sports and the business of esports are getting really close to each other.
Indeed.
So, you know, with that comes, you know, ownership investment, player associations, more regulation. You know, it's all part of the growing pains, right?
This has been Gone Fishing with Scoots. Brother, you are a legend.
Thanks, man.